face off. We're gonna talk your face off. We're gonna talk your face off. Talk your face off. To talk your face off. Talk your face off. Talk your face off. Talk your face off.
Yo. I was looking around seeing if I had a gator around here. I needed to put some sunglasses and a gator on so you couldn't see me like all those graffiti artists be like and just talk and be like, yeah, I was out there. Police chased us. We've been going down this rabbit hole.
We've been tagging everything right now. Huh?
We have, and we've been going down a rabbit hole of watching all this YouTube graffiti shenanigans. And I'm hoping I'm not tainting my daughter. And like all of a sudden I'm going to get a call. I mean, she's like at our school, she's won like the Christian Living Award several times. Like she's very, very
meek.
I wouldn't say that, but just very like nice. No, I don't know how to say, like, she's not a troublemaker. And so now I'm going to get a call, I'm sure, next year and be like, so
what did you do different with your daughter this summer?
I know. The bathroom stalls are all tagged now.
Any graffiti stuff going on at the house?
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So for those that don't know, my daughter and I are going down this awesome rabbit hole of learning how to do legit graffiti. Like we bought spray paints and like real graffiti spray paints, and we
now do you have a background in it already?
What do you mean?
Did you graffiti before or no?
Not really. I mean, tagging's one thing. I haven't really done any of these throw ups or anything like that.
Okay.
But when I was young, my mom was laughing because when I was in high school and stuff like that, everything would have like graffiti illustrations on them.
Right.
So, I didn't take any art until I was out of high school is when I started taking art. And so in high school, I couldn't. I was in band and what else? Band and sports. So I couldn't really
take club.
Yeah, I know. Dungeon and Dragons Club. No, I was in band and sports, so I couldn't really take art.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Level 7.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, she's laughing at me. She's like, you used to draw that stuff all the time. I'm like, I know. When I got out of college and I went to this shop that was designing and building the Monster Garage-ish type trucks or cars, she gave me a notebook that she kept when I was like 8 that had nothing but cars with big motors and flames on them.
Oh, really?
And she's like, I knew you were going to do something like this sometime. Like, sure enough. Chasing those dreams, Tony. Chasing those dreams. I'm self-conscious now about our mics.
Yeah.
Because in one of the lives, Harley was hating on podcasters with the mic and the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why you got to hate on that?
Well, I mean, it worked for Joe Rogan, so.
I know. Yeah, I know. So there, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. Nah. This is different. I mean, it's very podcasty to have a mic in it, actually.
Exactly.
But, yeah, it's very filmmaker to have the hidden microphone.
Yeah.
Shotgun mic.
Mm-hmm. Boom action. So what's new, dude? It's been a while.
Oh, man, it has been.
I missed your musk.
Yeah. You missed shooting me in the baby maker. What's going on in the hangar? Go, man. Go, Travis. David, Psycho Dirk, Endo's RC. People asking how's Monster Jam.
Yeah.
But so lots been going on, lots of travel. You know it. And it's been nonstop basically. So we've had a little time off last week. I did have to get stuff out to people that needed videos and different things. Mm-hmm. But also it's my son's birthday on Friday, so try to give him the weekend, and then we had 4th of July in there too, so time off for that. Yeah. And then my mom's moving, so I went out there the day after 4th of July. So like Monday I worked, Tuesday, Wednesday I was kind of off, working in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday worked, and then Friday took off for his birthday, and then
Yeah.
the weekend. So yeah.
Isn't
But-
that crazy right now? Trying to find time to do work and this sounds weird, but like trying to find time to do work or trying to find time to do RC right now seems like it seems like it's so tough right now. Like I was talking about that. I don't know if I was talking about that. We'll get to that podcast thing that I started, but
yeah,
I
look forward to it.
I think I was talking about that and the one coming up where I'm like, I just feel like I can't, like, because of summer being here and everyone's kind of off schedule. Like normally my kids are in bed by like, right when this is over, my kids go to bed.
Yep.
And then I can have some me time to do my own thing. And dude, there's been none of that.
Right. So yeah, about that, that's kind of how it feels. It's been very hard.
Yeah.
And then being gone for so long on top of that, and then it's been pretty brutal. So it's taken a toll. I mean, the more you work, the more you make, right? When you're independent. So, which we'll talk about later as well.
Yep.
So I've had a pretty tough month because I've been on the road so much. So I got a bunch of stuff backlogged that I got to get to and just start getting stuff out the door.
Yep.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Because, part of going to these events is the idea of then taking the footage and stuff and using it to try to make a little money back,
Right. Sure.
I don't think that they really fully recover what I pay to go to them at this point for me.
Sure.
Because the videos don't get enough views and it's Instagram's not monetized anymore and a lot of other things. So but it at least helps because even the normal is just down from not having content, from not having time to make content because of being gone to all these things.
Yep.
But I'm also not talking about my products or my store, and so then that's super slow right now. So all of it kind of just, going back to what you're saying, it's tough because there's no time, but then it's like, how do you find time? Because at some point you have to find time, right?
That's what was me the last week and a half, 2 weeks before, because you knew I hadn't, like I say, it's kind of misguided. I say because I'm sure people can look at my stuff and be like, oh, well, you're at the track or you're at this and you're at that. And it's like, well, I am, but I'm also going back to work after that. After I take my kid to the track, I'm going back to work for a few more hours. But when last week or so, bro, it was just like nonstop. And I saw the writing on the wall so that's part of what I put, that I had to cancel my trip to Axial Fest. And I talked to you about that, how it's like, I saw some money for the taking. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I got to jump on this. Like,
take the jobs when you get them.
Yeah. Cause even in my industry, it's been steady, but it hasn't been as normal steady as normal, like as crazy as normal. Right. But I think also
it's summer, dude. Like
it's all over the place.
I know our local shops are feeling it. So it's not just me. Hanger says it's slow on the crawler tracks front as well, which is one of the videos I actually need to get out. I got to see his cool stuff, and he has a portable like mud pit like we do with the little BBs in it, airsoft BBs. Super cool. But need to get to that. Also, that's kind of why we're doing this event that we're going to talk about. The one at let's hear that number one beer brand in America right now. Pour Modelo.
Can you hear that? I don't know if you can. I can't hear it on my mic.
I don't have headphones in.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Maybe somebody else does. But they're still packed away from the trip. So I took a whole podcast setup to Nashville.
Yeah.
But let me get to the thing while it's early on. We're doing a special event, though.
Oh, right.
At Jeff's place. And part of it is, I know it's slow for him. Our comps have been super slow. And it's tough because people travel in the summer, right? So they're saving money, one, to travel, They're
Yep.
spending money other ways on events, going out. There's so much to do in the summer.
Yeah.
So money's being spent and allocated other ways. I know I'm spending money different because of
Yep.
it, right?
Yep. Well, and it's a
So-
total different time now. Like I was talking about this with KLN. It's like we're not trapped. Not that my family was ever trapped inside, but no one's like kind of weary and not
Right.
worried about going out anymore. Everyone's out. I was looking. I mean,
Yep.
not that I follow Taylor Swift, but I was like, whoa, look at these Taylor Swift concerts. That's awesome. And I think I don't know, remember if I brought it up to you before, but my kids, like I try to culture my kids, right? Where if it's art or if it's music or whatever, and we were watching a video of AC/DC live, and
Yep.
and I don't remember where it was, but it was just like
Good culturing right there.
100,000 people in the you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, I looked at my wife and I was like, these kids have no idea about concerts like this. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy, right? But anyways. So,
Yeah, I mean it's true. So yeah, anyway, we're trying to do the same thing, I think, as everybody else. So it is what it is. And so it's slow. It's just
yeah, no one wants to
But-
watch my crawler videos when I go on a hike. I mean, I don't mean that I haven't posted one in a while, but I just mean like
right.
when you can go out on your own, why
Yeah.
would you want to watch it? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I was thinking about that content planning wise. Like, what do I, my goal is to get monetized on YouTube fully by the fall. And the idea of that is so I can get a piece of that pie for the Christmas rush,
Yep.
the holiday rush. But I've been falling less and less motivated to make videos. And I have some good content right now that I have to do editing on. I've just been so busy and I'm like, I don't really want to make this video.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the comments. I'll put it up here for you.
I'm a Swiftie. Oh, you redeemed yourself with the Taylor Swift with the AC/DC. Yeah, man.
I was like, man, he's just putting it all out there.
I know. Well,
Taylor Swifting it up.
Yeah. There's no bad blood between me and you, reckless remote control. Oh, see what I did there?
Yeah, so I think it's just a slow time. I think the biggest thing out right now is the low C, which I still haven't got mine, which is so not frustrating, but it's like, oh my gosh, it's so cool watching them, and I'm wanting to run one so bad.
Yeah,
I feel like that'll get me just energized about videos and everything again.
I feel like that bike is how I felt about the LMT at first, where I was like kind of scared of it, and I was like, I don't know if I have the room to run something like that, and I stayed away from it for so long, and then you were like the total pusher, and you're like, hey, here's this LMT, so tell me what you think, like.
Gotta do it.
And then I'm hooked on it, and so
right
now I can see myself same way with that motorcycle, kind of just getting after it.
Yeah, so it's is what it is. I went with the green because me and green, that's my reasoning behind it, and green was the wrong one to go with.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's the one that's delayed with the battery shipment and all the whatever with it. So
that's the one with the tires
kind of
packed.
a bummer, but they're doing their best to get them out. I can't fault them. They came out with something totally revolutionary, and it's gonna.
And not only that, but it's like, think of it. I know you don't have to think about it, but from the other people, think of it from the business side sense of it, where you're like, this is pretty cool, but is this going to sell? How much is this going to sell? Like, you have an idea. And you're like, this.
I think they knew it was going to go crazy.
I think they did, but I bet you they didn't think it was going to be this crazy.
It's been pretty crazy.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I don't think they anticipated that. Like,
yeah,
which is good. You know what I mean? Like, good for them. I think that's awesome. Super awesome.
Yeah. Plus, they're also going through like that whole thing with they're switching over systems at the same time.
Oh, I have not looked at the new website. Is it?
Well, it's all back end stuff.
So it's not UI, like
changing over their whole back end interfacing. So that's part of their problem.
I see.
But
That's cool. Yeah, Roadside says it's truly an engineering feat worth every penny. Yeah, dude. When I look at like a typical RC that's $600, and then look at the kind of technology that went into this one for $600, it's like that's a no-brainer, right?
Right.
Like there's so much new stuff. Like we've been saying that for a while. Like how much like there's nothing new coming out, and then boom.
I think that I like what they did with the Razor as well. Honestly, I think the Razor's got more craziness behind it than everybody gives it credit for.
How so? Change my
Just the
mind,
way that they
Tony.
redid all the suspension, all that to mimic the real one. Like they didn't just take a short course truck and put a cage on it.
It's pretty close
So-
to a Baja Ray, in my opinion, with a cage on it.
All the suspension?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
it's pretty close.
But I think it's really cool what they did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a huge motocross fan anyway, so
Yeah.
super jazzed about it.
Yep.
Super duper jazzed.
How about that Losi drag car for $150?
Unbelievable.
Right? I'm seriously, I was like, I bet you I could sell my
whole
SMTs
thing
for
died so quickly. Oh,
What's that?
Sorry, I wasn't done with my sentence. Unbelievable that whole thing died so quickly.
Yeah.
Not been out long.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
know.
the one bummer realization of it is. I just feel like it just kind of pointed to how, or maybe they just don't want Losi's version of it. I don't know, but
I don't know.
It was a pretty sweet package.
That's what she said. But no,
But for $150 or $70 for the roller, you guys should be changing over your builds,
short courses,
your sand rails.
Oh, to that
over to that platform, because it's so cheap, man.
Oh, well, that's the problem though, is that one's going to go away and then it won't come back, and no one will have parts for it. I got rid of my sand rails. So that was part of the other thing. I was
that's the new thing to talk about. With
I was hot to
I was affinity for the A brand.
Yeah, no, I was hot to trot to get these rigs so I could go to Axial Fest. And then all of a sudden it was like pow pow. They both popped at the same time, and I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, but then I have to work. Sweet. So yeah.
Sorry, I am working on RCs right now because, like you said, that we haven't had.
I know. I was thinking about doing that. So that's one of the axials.
Well, you said you were going to, so that was kind of why I brought something.
Yeah, well, I just wasn't ready. I got down here and my desk wasn't clean enough. So I got one of these.
Dun, dun, dun. What is it?
It's a kit. SEX10 base camp kit.
The base camp kit.
Yep. So I got one of those. I've had it for a week and a half or whatever, however long it was when I got it. And I just haven't had a chance to I cracked it open. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then put it aside. But I got that. And then I traded one of the sand rails for it's a base camp kit, not the Pro. Question mark. Yes, base camp. I'm going to be more into making this one. And I've got an idea for it. I've got a build idea. I just got to carve out the time. So the build idea is my daughter had a Endura Jeep body.
Yep.
And I think I sent you the picture of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cage on the back half of the Jeep. It's kind of like a pre-runner-esque cage. But I'm going to make it into like I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Great American Crawl, the Rockstar one, or like Flex Coils or Flex Rocks and Coilovers or whatever it's called. Those are two pretty big crawling YouTube channels. They go out and do they're all Jeeps and they're all huge, like 40-inch tires, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to make that Jeep into a trailer type Jeep. And then I got a Rift kit. And so the Rift kit was how do I say this? Because it was a great trade. I looked at the skid. The skid was basically new, right? You could tell it had been gone through the mud or whatever a couple times, but the skid was basically new.
Yeah.
And then he hands me a box of parts because he didn't put the 2-speed in, allegedly. And then he handed me this bag and he goes, "This E-clip goes in the transmission. I forgot to put it in." I was like, okay. So I took apart, I was like, all right, well, I got to go through this really quick. And I had a few hours on a Saturday morning. So I went through it really quick, pulled the transmission apart, put the E-clip back on, and then realized that he had the gears installed for the 2-speed, even though he was running it as a single speed. So I ripped those gears out and I thought I remember someone saying that the 2-speed, the difference wasn't great enough to really make a difference on the Rift.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone has
I don't have a
experience.
2-speed, so.
Okay. So I don't know if anyone has experience with that, but I thought I remember seeing a video. Maybe it was Scale Builders Guild that said that. I don't remember. But so I just kept it as a single speed. And then the knuckles and the C-hubs were upside down. So I had to pull that all apart, put them right side up, all that kind of stuff. So it turned into more work than I wanted to. Yeah. But
it's got some power.
It does. We took it out and hit a jump 3 times and we're like, okay, let's, maybe it was before church on a Sunday morning. I don't remember, but it was like, all right, let's go. And that was it. So
somebody says not a huge difference, but you can tell the difference. Did you already see Roadside ask why that instead of the Pro? I don't see you as a Pro type crawler guy anyway, because you're not a comp guy. You're more hardcore trails.
Yeah, well, I have 2 of them already. So the this bug one here is a low CG chassis, short wheelbase. And then I have a merge kit for my ERC. And so I was actually thinking about flipping that kit and building something out and selling it, because by the end of summer, I'm probably going to have too many rigs, too many crawlers that I need for. I'm actually really contemplating seeing if I can move my SMT 10s.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing special.
Well, there you go. Isaac needs them because he's not been paying attention to me. He's been listening to you.
What?
When I say that it's very hard to find the AR60 stuff, and you're like, oh, no, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, Isaac is now seeing that he can't find it. They're almost non-existent.
What?
Yep.
Who is Isaac?
I agree with him. Isaac Ankrum 115.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
He's some slow monster truck guy. I know.
Okay. Do you need me to do this again?
Yeah.
Here we go. eBay. Where's my eBay?
This will be good. This will be good.
This will be good. Here we go. AR60.
So I'm missing Jeff Walter. What's going on? Brian Kushner.
AR60's full set. Housings. That's not AR60.
Yeah, all like weird, cheap
gears,
aftermarket ones.
More parts. Dude,
they're all cheapy aftermarkets.
That's an axial one. There's axial universal joints right there.
Okay, maybe. There's a few.
There.
So Brian was asking what projects I'm working on. I'm trying to button up and finally finish this Maz Designs cheat code. I did get the magnets on. Check me out.
Ooh.
Magnet body. Bang.
Incision gears.
Incision. Yeah, they make them.
Rear axles. Everything, Tony.
Hardly anything.
Everything.
Very, like, there's one left of each one.
One left.
So. It was the 10.3 that was the 2-speed wasn't noticeable that everyone talked about. It's the SX 10.3 Jeeps and that. I'm going back up. NorCal, what's up? Caught up on sleep yet? Bob Price, how was Monster Jam? We were going to talk about that. Hatfield. Reckless is not yet. Keep grinding. I think he's talking about when I was saying how it doesn't make its money back yet. Those events are expensive to go to. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, that was one of the other deciding factors. And I don't mean this to sound like I hate talking about this because I am not at any of the levels that any of the guys that we pay attention to on YouTube or on Instagram are. But realistically, for me to miss that much work to go to Axial Fest and all that, it's tough to do that because I'm not even monetized on YouTube. So I'm not getting anything back. It's all out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, that's a tough one for me. I was looking at, I was like, why? I don't know. But I really, I'm looking at those trails and stuff. They look so much fun. So much fun. Super sweet Axial Wraith 1.9 with a patriotic wrap and portal axles and a fly sky. Ooh,
that's pretty cool. The Wraith 1.9 is an unbelievable out of the box crawler. I'm shocked that that's one that they don't have anymore. But
I've never driven one. I've heard good things about them.
My kids always wow me with it.
Well, I think you have problems driving 110 skills anyway. Anything probably wows you. Shots fired.
Baby. Yeah, shots fired.
Yeah. So let's talk about your Monster Jam experience.
Yes, it was really, really good. Even though the weather. There? So yeah, I had an interesting opportunity because of where I live. I ended up driving down to Horizon and riding down with them.
Oh wow!
To the event, yeah. So we've been talking, and last year in Orlando, I flew in and got myself to the hotel, Ubered or whatever. No, I took the shuttle actually, but they had a rental van, and so they would take us from the hotel to the event, and so it was kind of like that, but even further. Like same thing. Make sure I stay in the same hotel as them, and then I'll have a ride to and from. Where I need to get to. So super, super helpful. Meant I didn't have to drive as far. I did end up going out a night before and getting a hotel room because they were going to leave early, like 6 a.m. Got down there and it had rained. So the carpet was all wet and we kind of just went and set stuff up. I helped set up like the low-C tents and all that, which ended up being problematic because heavy winds going through the area, like tornado stuff almost during that week in the evenings. So like we watched, I think it was that first night they had, was there qualifying? I think there was qualifying that night and then we left, but then some of the guys had walked back through the area and they saw the tents like getting blown away. And so they tore them all down and laid them down. So there was a lot of setup, tear down, all that kind of stuff. We ran a whole qualifying practice thing on Friday, and that was cool. We ran through the whole thing like it was the real deal through racing and all that. Get a time reference because we're going to be at the pit parties. Only one day this time, which meant that the drivers weren't going to get to run cars, which was one of my favorite parts of the previous year. During the 2 days they came and they actually raced them. So Losi was a bigger sponsor of it this time. So there's, they were kind of a big part of it. Primal was there. They unveiled the new Son of a Digger 1/5 scale Primal. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they actually let them run them on the Monster Jam course. So when they were doing their demos for them, they did it out on the actual track.
Nice.
So Exo Cage actually has video of that. Because of me doing the stuff with Losi and them, I would end up in things where I wasn't around when they were going to go in.
Yeah.
And then also I did have time one of the days, but they said my camera was too good to take in there. So
what?
They wouldn't allow a big camera in, but apparently
you're just jealous.
DSLRs don't count as cameras, even though they take just as good or better video than the bigger cameras nowadays.
Sure.
Let's be honest. People don't understand at all what they're talking about. Freaking, I can't even I just want to be like, yeah, whatever.
Give me your supervisor.
Wouldn't you rather it be good quality video than like all the iPhone stuff that's coming out?
I know.
So,
I know.
but whatever, it is what it is. They did awesome. The first night it was kind of like, like a lot of crashing and nothing wow on the first night that they did it.
For 1-to-1s or for RC?
No, for the primal ones.
Oh, okay.
But they totally laid it out the next day, which it's probably a good thing. Like go light,
Probably keeping it safe
because there's a much smaller crowd. But man, they were doing flips off of stuff and going nuts, and much better showing the second day.
Yeah.
They were very impressive. I'll just say that, super impressive. And the Son of a Digger looks fantastic.
Dude, that
so
thing
fantastic.
looks so sick. Like, oh, that thing looks so sick. I agree. I don't remember who wrote it. Someone said, when are they? I hope they come out with the. David Ferris says they need to release the electric version. I thought it's a kit that you can get. Oh yeah, he goes, I know there's a conversion kit. But, yeah. No, I'm on the same boat because it's like, oh, I'd love to get a gas one, but it's like electric's so much easier. But gas sounds so much rad, dude. More rad. It's like, sounds like a real monster truck.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you're gonna brake more when it goes electric because of the power, like they talk about snapping. But they talked about some of the upgrades. So like upgrade potential diff, like outdrives potentially coming for them. They had a new steering link that is huge, 1 bar from wheel to wheel or knuckle to knuckle. Because before on the old ones, they always mount with those little bars that come off the axle and have bearings and all this in them. And I always snap the screw off on that. Always.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I break on it until I broke the rear diff. But for the most part, I haven't had many issues with mine.
Yeah.
I just take out and drive it. You know, I might bend a shock shaft or something, but it's 80 pounds. Like,
yeah,
I'll take it. Like, and I just have spare shocks ready. So it's a quick fix. But when that thing goes, if it breaks the head off and you hope that you can get it out, like back it out with a bit.
Sure.
Anyway, so that was impressive. The storms, like NorCal was saying, were insane.
Yeah.
The track was meh. The actual Monster Jam track was very meh.
I noticed that. Yeah, I was like, it was kind of cool. Like they're trying to do the old school stadium start and from Vegas.
The race was cool. It was awesome for racing.
Yeah,
but
you
for
didn't like
freestyle, it was no.
Yeah,
because it was like they made the whole thing almost like one big pod in the middle.
Yeah,
with like their big step up attached to it.
Sure.
So any jump felt that much smaller because they weren't dropping to the ground; they were jumping up.
I don't know, dude. Those high jump videos, I was impressed with those.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to see the high jump, but I'm talking freestyle. For freestyle, there's a couple things they could hit. There was one backflip ramp that they were all hitting that seemed safe. I'm sure some of it had to do with the water, but there were no approaches. They had like these like double jumps up to jump onto the pod in the corners, but there was no approach to them.
Oh.
They just couldn't do any of the cool stuff that they do normally.
Yeah.
When they have like the separated pods and they'll jump one, land the other, hit the middle pod, or, roll the one and take off. I don't know. Just, I would love to know what the drivers thought of it compared to the other stuff that they were hitting all year. But yeah, I mean, there was a couple good runs for freestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you watch the reel, like everybody came out so small. Yeah. Even Todd LeDuc's run was pretty lame until that big.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Todd LeDuc fan. I think he goes nuts. I think he's always underscored.
Sure.
But I was like, wow, they just can't find any traction. There's nothing to get any air on until Weston came out, and Weston aired everything, man. He was pedaled to the floor. Nice. Like he was just on it. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple people at the end that did pick it up a little. Josh
Rhodes is in the house. He said a few drivers said that the freestyle lacked due to no one really being able to see the jumps clearly. Says we couldn't paint anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably all wet still.
Yep.
It wasn't holding it.
So what's a good method, just as a side note, while we're talking about painting ramps this weekend? So we'll come back to it. come back to yours in just a quick second, but before I forget, because this is easy, this weekend I'm not racing, but I'm gonna have Dalton race. That's another weekend race. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see about bringing my tools out to the track so I can groom their monster truck track a little bit. And I'm wondering, here at my house we use spray paint, just like ground marking spray paint. But it seems like there's got to be a better.
Oh, get a sprayer, a paint sprayer, like a house sprayer or fence sprayer. So the guys from Freestyle RC, I'll try and get the model for you. Got one on Amazon.
Okay.
They painted up the Horizon RC Fest course so fast.
Okay. And what are they using for
buckets
paint?
of
Just
paint?
latex?
Just like exterior paint, and just laid it down so fast.
How fast does it dry?
I don't know. It's pretty quick.
Okay.
I mean,
well, I don't know. I mean,
because still stay off it for a bit, but
yeah. All right.
Yeah, the Wagner sprayer is awesome. XJ Sports.
Awesome sauce.
But yeah, so they did something. So anyway, I mean, Monster Jam had a lot to work through. The weather it wasn't cooperating again.
Sure.
Thankfully, next year it's indoors, or it's where they'd never get any rain.
Right.
In SoFi. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's something about the way that they lay the courses out there. It seems like it's bigger and going to be crazy, but they left no room on the edges to hit the pods from the side. So it just left them going back and forth for the most part. Yeah. There weren't really any side hits coming across. But yeah, it was still a good show, but it wasn't like Indianapolis or even Ford Field when you go as far as what they were able to do. But again, controlled environments. They made it fun. They kept the action moving. I felt like the judging was fair because they had actual Monster Jam drivers as judges. And then they had the people score as well.
Nice.
But
Josh Rose says Monster Jam uses bear paint. No doubt.
Yeah, just a house paint kind of thing. So latex.
Nice.
So that was it. I would totally go again. So what Josh Rhodes said, the best part was we didn't get to do everything. That's not the best part. We didn't get to do everything, but they didn't reopen. So it was good and it was bad. It's probably sucked for people that were wanting to go and see all the trucks and drivers, but the pit party didn't reopen. There was such a bad storm that came through. Oh, I should tell you. So Primal's in doing their thing inside, right? We're outside. We see the storm coming. We're tearing down tents. And I hear Mama Primal, is what I call her, but the owner's wife out there, or she's one of the owners, and she's on the phone like, how do I get the tent top down? Like,
oh no.
Everyone with them is inside. All of their stuff is outside, and it's just her trying to take care of it, and there's a lot of money wrapped up in what's out, from the tents to tables, all the gear. And so, but they're coming out. People in yellow vests are like, you got to get in the building.
Yeah.
And so we're just helping rip down as much as we can. I'm like, here's what we got to do to get the tents out. But then the problem was the tables were still there, and so you can't collapse them. And so we're trying to lift them over, but it's me and her. And she was struggling to get it over the table, and Matthew Hall was there running their trucks, just grabbing trucks and taking them under the more secured tents that we had for the actual driver's area, where like they were nailed into the concrete with huge, like they used an excavator type thing to hammer them in. Like they weren't really going anywhere. So I was going, stuff's flying everywhere. We're trying to get it. Like I had just bought that cool new hat. And it went flying. And so I'm like, I went running to grab it because it got stuck up against one of the fence pieces. Coming back.
You're like,
there's
America.
this huge BKT thing that they built. And they only, I don't know, it's really tall and square. And it had this big, it did have some legs, but it was like 15, 20 feet tall of like stagings, like
a scaffolding,
scaffold type thing. And it's like falls over, tents are flying across, chairs, tables. I'm like, holy crap, we got to get out of here.
You're like, honey buckets are flying.
I just grab it. I see her trying to drag another truck. I run over, grab the truck from her, run it under the tent. And at that point, I think most of their stuff was in there. Guys had come back and push
Yeah.
everything in, and it was like, now let's make a dash for the stadium because stuff is flying. Like
Wow.
I'm not worried about flying away, but I'm worried about getting hit by
Hit.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Stop
so,
signs.
yeah, just grabbed my stuff and ran in.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
That's crazy, man. That's exciting though.
Yeah. So that was exhausting, and then soaked, and then we're
Yeah.
inside. But it did mean I got to eat, so we hadn't been able to stop to eat. So I did
Yeah.
eat quickly, and then, but when we went back out, because of all the tents that were destroyed and all that, they didn't open up anything beyond our thing. So there was like a main stage that was open, and they were going to have drivers there to sign autographs, but none of like the walk around the trucks and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that part of the pit party was just closed down. But it meant we had a huge crowd around the RC
Oh,
thing.
cool.
And we just decided like we don't have a lot of time because we just had an hour and a half rain delay or whatever, and they're not going to let us keep running when the stuff gets going inside. So they did a couple like grudge match races, like John Schultz and Jonathan Schultz raced each other 3
that's cool.
times, like see who would, best 2 or 3.
What was
Barry
John
and his
driving?
son. What
was John driving?
LMT with a bunch of associated stuff on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was the roller.
That's
They
cool.
did have the little truck there though.
Yeah, the
And they
MT-12.
were jumping it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they raced, and then Barry and his son raced, and then they opened up to freestyle because
nice.
that's what people want to see. They want to see him
Yeah.
flying. Like every time like somebody would miss the last jump and send it through the air, people would go nuts watching that. Like, because in the beginning we did do our qualifying, which we pretty much had brackets. We'd done it before,
Sure.
the day before, but we put on a whole qualifying thing. Yeah, anyway, it was good for the hobby in that people just went nuts with the freestyle. Like
Yeah.
Josh Rhodes went insane.
Dude, I was about to say that. I saw his video and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
So his was big. Dustin's was very technical. Like he would back up to the things and he'd get it and he'd walk it across the nose.
Really?
Oh, dude, some really sick moves.
Wow.
So yeah, I got to get that video out soon. It's tough. Like, so part of you wants to be disappointed, but you can't, right? Because it was
I don't
so
think I would want to be
amazing.
disappointed.
Well, I'd spent all my time doing interviews and stuff about racing and track conditions, the field, like all of that is not usable because there was no racing.
Oh.
I also did these like, NFL player card intro type things where everyone's holding their truck,
Yeah.
the
With
video
their
thing.
faces.
Yeah. Just kind of so you can put their name card up at the front of their race. All this stuff, man. And it's not going to be usable. So I don't even know what I'm going to do for the video at this point.
Yeah.
It's just going to be highlight reel stuff, I guess. And all the freestyle, I'll just let roll. But
sure.
Yeah, but I mic'd up both the announcers for everything. And like,
that's a tough one,
I'm
dude.
not going to get the stuff out of it I was hoping to in going down, and I just wanted to do it for them too. Like I was really excited about making a cool video for them for racing, and even for freestyle. I can still do like the person before their freestyle, show the card or whatever. But
that's tough, man. Like, so I'm kind of fighting a little bit. So for videoing that kind of stuff, both the tracks that I'm affiliated with for monster trucks have terrible shadows in them. Like they're built in places where you just have like half shadow, half sun. And you're like, it's a cool track and no one thinks about it unless they're shooting video. And you're just like, like, how am I going to make this look good? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and the shadows are bad. It's not like kind of, long shadow. It's like total different exposure in one side of the track than the other side of the track.
Oh yeah. It's so hard. There's nothing you can do except use an iPhone, which somehow has like fake HDRing in the.
Yeah, but even so, then you get blowouts everywhere when you
It's
turn.
not as bad with the iPhone. The iPhone can fake exposure somehow when doing video. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Better than like an expensive camera. So I have that problem with. I love it. That tent. That's what I was looking at footage today from was Horizon RC Fest, which my mic totally jacked up. There's like staticky audio like on everything, which sucks.
No.
It was just too sensitive, and I had it on auto, so it should have been keeping it from clipping.
Yeah.
And it was, but it was something with how it was plugged in or whatever. It was just that everything was hitting high because I just unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it was fine. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. So Axial Fest is great.
Yeah.
But something was wonky at Horizon RC Fest that with the mic plugins, and
Brutal.
I didn't catch it. It's fine unless people are talking really loud.
Sure.
So there's some stuff that's fine. Other stuff that's just I'll add music and hopefully it'll have to do for what it is. But it's definitely
get that AI dubbing action going.
Yeah, when you go in wanting to make good content and then you're like, well, that's limiting. I could change it. But
Well,
the whole
that's
cool
limiting.
thing that we did was like Ryan Anderson took my camera for like 20 minutes filming stuff.
Yeah.
And just hilarious stuff. But it's like just kind of just enough raspiness to like peaking on the audio that's almost annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. We'll make use of it. I interviewed LVCRC too, and that's got the same little bit of edge to the voice.
Yeah.
Just unfortunate.
That's
but
a
the other
bummer.
two don't have it. I mean, the audio from the other two is awesome. Same mic, same camera. Who knows? It's just frustrating, but
I know. I feel bad. I got this. We talked about these mics before, these wireless lav mics.
Mm-hmm.
I got them, but
Clipping.
I got the terrible.
Yeah.
And even if I use Filmic, they're not like great.
It's clipping at the mic.
Yeah.
Before it's even going out. Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, but I got the ones that have a USB-C adapter to Lightning or to the iPhone adapter, because I was like, oh, I could use it on my GoPro. Nope, can't use it on the GoPro. And then so I was like, dang it. And so now it's like I never use them because it's such a pain in the butt to put the adapter on.
You have to put them really far down.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah. So I haven't used them, and I'm not a huge fan of the video coming out of Filmic yet. I've been playing around with settings and looking on. For some reason, I don't know why, I'm using the Filmic Legacy. I didn't do the yearly subscription.
Where you have to pay subscribers. Yeah.
And I feel like they did something where now the quality isn't that good. And I'm like, come on. Like it seems like it's shooting in a whole different like color key. But
yeah.
Whatever. So I got to figure that part out.
Yeah.
Camera woes.
It happens.
So it does.
But yeah. Overall, all the events were amazing. I had a blast at every single one of them. From Horizon RC Fest to, and I'm liking going through the footage. It's fun.
I don't know if that I would get a Rebel, Josh. I think a Rebel is probably good for still. You can chime. I mean, you know more than me, Tony.
Sony.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The Rebels are great for
new base model ones that are really good.
Well, they have the
vlogger
single ones. Yeah. What are those, GX7s or whatever they call? No, is that what
that's Canon?
That's a Canon.
Yeah, they've got the vlog. It's like the ZE1.
ZE1, that's it.
But
they're a little pricey. They're like
it's like an $800 point and shoot vlog camera. And then they have a version of that's like the ZV1, which is an interchangeable lens, and now they have a new one that's full frame.
Oh, wow.
That's also still in the vlogger line, and then the Mark II.
So Josh, the hard thing, Josh, if you're trying to track monster trucks, you can talk about this more than me, Tony, but I have a hard time. You almost have to put it on a boom or something. Like when I do my monster truck videos,
Sony has the best stabilization and the best autofocus in the game.
Yeah.
So if he wants to do handheld, I would just go with Sony.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to do fine with a GoPro, but it's gonna.
Oh, GoPro's got really good.
Yeah,
And so do phones nowadays. But
yeah, the problem, and even with the phone, like the iPhone, the problem is you get a lot of I don't know if I would say like grainy if you're trying to push in and post. If your settings aren't right for the lighting, it gets tough on like a iPhone or a
yeah,
GoPro.
I mean the codec isn't the best.
Right.
They're
right,
really compressed.
right. So,
Yeah, it's not meant for like the zoom in stuff like you could do with a GoPro.
but here's the thing. I mean, aside from your videos and Scale Builders Guild videos that are like shot on an actual real glass camera, most of the videos out there are shot on something that's, I mean, they're still even putting
Phones and
out
GoPros.
1080.
Most.
Yeah, and a lot of it's 1080 right now.
Really?
I've looked well, or 1440. What I mean on YouTube, when I go and I watch YouTube videos, I'm not seeing a lot of 4K stuff on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff is like GoPro resolution.
Yeah. Canon, and if you look like Scale Builders Guild, them they use like the Sony A6000 that
Mhm.
range,
Mhm.
which is the lighter weight, smaller Sony because it goes on a gimbal super easy, and it's APS-C format.
I thought that's a body camera, right? A full body camera, or is it a point and shoot?
It's a mix between point and shoot and DSLR.
A bridge.
It doesn't have all the same buttons and knobs as a bigger DSLR, but it has all the features of one.
Gotcha.
It touchscreen kind of get through it.
Yeah.
You can still put a microphone on it, things like that, but it's much smaller, lighter, which lends itself to filming for RC with because the bigger ones. I went back to the big up in the studio. The big, just for doing monster truck racing. I hate to admit it, but I got that $4,000 camera for the zoom because it's a rocker zoom, and I can, Trigger King or whatever, where you zoom in. They're so far away when they start, but then you got to back out so you can keep both trucks in.
Yeah,
and then doing that with the point and shoot, which I feel has better image quality. And many easier features to use is just, but it also has a handle built in. I don't have to carry anything with me. My battery lasts all day.
Yeah.
So I just reach down. So I use it even for filming my crawling videos, the big Panasonic, and just.
Dude, you have like a sixth sense for keeping in frame. It drives me crazy. I don't know if you're just shooting wide and doing that in post, but it is like, it kills me how like you just have this sense for like, I'm going to keep it dialed in on the third or dialed in the center. I'm just like, every time I try to do it, I'm all over the place. I'm like, hey, there's my tires.
Your phone on a stick?
Anything. I always get lazy and I'm like, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at like a rock in front of my tire. Like,
So I did tell Black Marker RC about a Panasonic all-in-one. They're called like a bridge camera. It's between like a point and shoot and DSLR. Well, you have the one that you've been using.
Your old one. Yeah, that's awesome.
So same thing, the Z1000, because you don't have to carry lenses, but you can zoom forever, and it's a rocker zoom. So that actually works as well for doing the monster truck stuff because you're not zooming on the lens. Because when you zoom on the lens in your handheld, the whole thing rocks, and it's not a smooth zoom. So the Z1000 actually, or Z1000 or 2000, whatever they're at now, are actually very, very good, and you can plug a mic into them.
Yeah, I really like the one that I'm using from you. It is awesome. They're a little heavier than expected,
which is crazy because it's so much lighter than a DSLR.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The weighting of it's a little it's different. Like the weighting's just different than a DSLR.
It's forward.
Yeah, exactly. So, but dude, the video is so butter on those. And then I figured out finally how to like. For some reason, it wasn't keeping the setting to shoot in 60 FPS.
Yeah,
and I finally just figured out how to do it every time. And so now I have it shooting at 60 FPS. Like I have to reset it.
Well, because the battery issue, the internal battery on it.
Maybe that's what it's is.
It's not storing date and time or any of that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, but once I do it, then it's like, oh, it's so smooth to put that in the time it down to 30 and post. Oh, It's good. I like it.
LBC is not using a point and shoot. He's using a GH5. I've got 3 of them here
Nice.
in a case over here. Well, those are the little ones on the gimbal I had.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, super high quality out of those.
Very nice.
But
Very nice.
what else were we going to talk about?
I can tell you. Let me pull up my show sheet.
I actually got my show sheet on my phone because I have my phone and you don't.
No, I do. I found mine last minute. World Finals. Listen to this. Started podcasting, Tony.
Oh yes, let's talk about your podcast.
So I don't want it to sound like that. It's not like my podcast. So
he's a podcaster. He's like Joe Rogan Jr.
No, well, I heard I've listened to yours, and I was like, hey, I could do that.
Hey, I could do this better.
your last one, you were like, so I'm in a hotel room and I can't talk loud, so I'm gonna talk like this the entire time.
I didn't end up though, did I? Because I ended up talking loud.
Yeah, you ramped it up a little bit.
I did because I realized I was being loud.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
I thought that was funny, but no, I mean, I'm not a stranger to them, but I'm a stranger to doing them by myself, and I think I found a format. You know what's funny? So everyone, like, we were just talking about technology and all.
Dumb and Dumber's funny.
Yes, but we were just talking about all this technology stuff, right? You know how I recorded mine, and I think the audio sounded like pretty good. I wouldn't say great, but it sounded
your iPhone good. In a bathroom.
No, I was walking around my shop, cleaning the shop, working in the shop with the old school iPhone headset with the mic right here.
Oh,
sounded great. And I was like, seriously, it sounds like good. Awesome. So
I will admit I was in my room testing this microphone before I showed up to the next thing. Because that was I recorded that first one in where's Horizon Hobby? Champaign, Illinois. So I went to the guitar store in Champaign and picked up this microphone because it was like 2 minutes from Horizon Hobby, and I looked it up ahead of time. Like, do I go into Grand Rapids? Because I knew I wanted to do a podcast with the guys from Losi while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah,
that's awesome.
I did this, but that's why. So go ahead, tell people about your thing.
So I'm trying to kind of keep it open. I mean, it's definitely RC dad based kind of stuff, but I'm talking about all kinds of stuff. And I found a way.
Talk about work stuff, man, because your work is so interesting.
Because
it ties into RC. I mean, you do art stuff with metal and fabricating, and it's cool.
I guess, but I mean, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to just
do installations, like art installations in cities and prisons and
you know. I think when I sent you the picture, I don't know if I sent someone a picture while I was working on it the night before, and like some Johnny Cash prison song came on, and I was, or no,
Folsom Prison Blues.
No, it was AC/DC Jailbreak came on as I was playing it. I was like, this is perfect. But no, it's so I figured a way of doing it, and it used to be called Anchor, and now it's Podcaster from Spotify, and it's easy to record segments, super easy, and they have little bumpers,
and it'll put them together.
Yeah, you just record it. You record it, and it's like reminders in your phone. So you do one. You say I'm recording. Here's my Wednesday podcast. You record it. You hit stop and save. It saves that segment. Say you're recording another time, you hit stop and save. It saves that segment. But the reason why I say it's like reminders is because they're drag and drop. So you can click it and just put it up to the top or put it down to the bottom. And then you can add bumpers in between that are already canned bumpers. So it's like, as long as you remember to say on to the next segment, or we're going to be talking about this next.
Okay.
It's super easy, like super easy. So I just
don't do any of that stuff.
You just talk
one long thing for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Monotone, apparently. The Squirrel Guy RC or whatever that guy's name was. Squirrel Rod. Who used to have a really awesome YouTube channel.
Used to?
Yeah. There was this like Squirrel Rod guy on YouTube.
Yeah.
Back in like early, I don't know, 2013 13, 14. Did a bunch of like how-tos, really good stuff.
Yeah,
when I was first getting into RC. Then he just disappeared, took everything down.
crazy.
And then he came back to tell me in my iTunes
really
comments that
in your iTunes comments.
this guy's the worst.
That's
So, yeah.
funny. Yeah. No, it's pretty. I mean,
I'll look it up.
I did one and it was pretty smooth. And I was like, that was easy. And it was like 44 minutes. I was like, there's no way I'm going to fill up an hour talking.
Well, it's nice you can break it up then. So if you can take a break.
Dude, that's what I've been doing. So I've been so I say, this is episode 2 or whatever. And I'll say episode 2 and I'll give it a title. And then I'll have my bullet points that I write down on my iPad. And I just kept my iPad up on my bench at the shop. And I'd be like, I could talk about this now. And I hit the button and I start recording and I just talk as I'm walking around and then hit stop.
Fantastic.
And I'm like, it's 10 minutes down. All right, on to the next one. Like super easy. Retro Monster Truck review with Josh Rhodes.
With Josh Rhodes. Good stuff. Yeah, I carry around. So mine's not as easy. And I feel like it was easy. This little.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. But you got your cool. Mr. CCXRC. You got that whole thing all queued up and all that.
Yeah, there's a little button I push for it right here.
Yeah. And see.
Welcome to the While My.
Stop it.
It did it. So I just started with that.
Well, see,
that was. Oh gosh.
That's what's cool about this one is that I could do that and it's all on the net. So I could save it in my profile in my library, and then I could just drop it in.
Insert it. Just drag and drop stuff.
Yep.
Super now, can you send it from there to other places, to other podcast streaming places?
I am on Apple iTunes Podcast.
Are you on Google?
I don't know. Probably
Amazon.
Yep. I know Amazon. Yep.
And you do it all through Spotify.
It's called Podcaster. It's on, but it's by Spotify. So
they must have bought that.
Yep. So it does Google, Overcast, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Stitcher, to name a few. Basically, anything.
The name of the Rode microphone. That's what I was thinking of. The Rode microphone is called the Podcaster. That's why I'm like, are they allowed to use that name?
They probably have part share of Rode.
Well,
that's
a very good possibility.
Yeah. I mean, they bought Joe Rogan, so who knows?
I've seen John Martin's in here talking about his Losi Pro Moto. He took it to a skate park and broke it. He says he left Other Live eating, heading to Other Live, and breaking my Pro Moto.
That sucks.
I may have broke it again after, because I know he did some fixes to it.
Brutal. No bueno. So let's see what else we got. We got listen to this. So you guys, if you go to my Instagram, you can click on the link there and it'll take you to Spotify. You can also search it on Apple Podcasts.
Did you link it in the chat?
No.
You should do that.
All right. Let me see if I can do that. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if technology allows me to do something that cool.
XJ Sport, not to change. What 3D printer would you recommend? Man, your Ender, and I know RC Guy Garage's Ender are workhorses, man.
Dude.
They're workhorses.
Best money for the buck.
And then RC Driver just posted about that other high-end one.
Is it the Bamboo or whatever?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the name here. And it can change colors and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Mine actually is done. I just printed a bunch of more inserts up because I ran out while I've been gone the past month. RC Driver, here he is.
You know what's funny? I haven't listened to your podcast on
Bamboo
Apple.
Lab.
I haven't listened to it on oh yeah. Whoa, look at that.
Bamboo Lab X1.
Oh, it disappeared. Oh no, it's still there.
No, look at mine. Look at mine.
No, look at mine.
Look at his. Look at mine.
That's the last time I listened to yours on my phone. My February 10th.
Chris from
2010.
Hemi Storm, long time ago.
Well, I normally listen to yours on YouTube now. So
I don't know how this popped up. Because I'm not subscribed to this Family Life Today thing.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when I was driving to Champaign, I was previewing one of mine. And then that popped up, and it was like, man, I needed to hear that message, like that
That's
they were
cool.
talking about, like.
Yeah.
Do
you ever listen to the Unashamed podcast?
No.
Dude.
I listened to the Tooth and Nail one.
Unashamed. It's the Duck Commander people.
Oh yeah.
That one's awesome.
I have listened to that.
Yeah, I really like that.
Labeled. That's the Tooth and Nail one.
Nice.
But yeah, that one popped up, and I'm like, I don't even know why it popped into my feed. This isn't anything I would ever subscribe to. It just sent, and I was like, okay, I needed to hear that. I don't know why I kept listening,
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's on. I'm, hands-free driving.
Yep.
See where it goes.
That's cool. There was a guy that posted something, and I reached out to him on Instagram, and then I wanted to reach out to him again on Sunday because the message we heard on Sunday was like totally talking about that. But I was like, I don't want to creep this guy out. I could be like, I was thinking about you. Like, I don't even know him, but I was like, maybe I'll reach out to him anyway. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been having fun. Like, I want to be able to do it more. So actually, I'm surprised I've been able to go this long. I messed my knee up July 4th.
Getting so old.
I know, I'm so old. It is an old man injury, actually, because I jumped off the back of the boat, and we find this area where it's really shallow and sandy, like a sandbar, and we'll throw down anchor, pull out inner tubes, hang out. You can be waist deep. It's awesome. And you can fish the shoreline. There's like smallmouth and all kinds of great fish in there. So we'll just sit out in the middle of the river. And then I jumped out the front of the boat, which was way shallower, and I wasn't expecting it. So I had my rod in my hand, and I just jammed my left leg and then tried to catch myself. And then I didn't think much of it, whatever. The next day I'm like, dang, my knee hurts.
Yeah.
I'm helping my mom with painting and all this stuff for her house that she's trying to sell. And like, this is brutal. And then I'm like, this feels like high school again, like playing sports. And then whatever, was not the 9th, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. We had my brother-in-law in town, whatever, and the neighbor was over, and I was fishing. I had like a great cast, but I wanted to get in closer. So I jumped off of this wood dock we have down under our floating dock, which is a little bit of a gap. And then it's, maybe a 3-foot drop.
Yeah.
I hit, man. And I'm like, oh, my leg wasn't better. Like, and it is like, I've been up all night with it just throbbing. And like I should probably see a doctor at this point, but
at what age did it become sketchy to jump out of the back of a truck? You notice that? Like now I'm like, I want to get down to my butt. If I'm in the back of a truck, like I sit down on my butt, I like slide out on my gut down to
I still jump down off the tailgate. Yeah. But I have one of those little handles like for getting up in. And I'll just hang on to it and kind of spin off it.
Yeah. I don't know why, but like I jump off and I'm like, and when I'm hiking, I'm scrambling. So I'm like, hopping from rock to rock or whatever. But for some reason, jumping off a truck onto concrete when I'm wearing my work boots, I'm just like, nope. Like I can feel it all the way up into my neck when I land.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I have to, at this point, like when I want to move my feet, when I'm sitting like this, that left foot, I have to use my arms to kick my leg out because I can't lift it up. It's jacked up. But yeah, I haven't been able to sit this long. I've been sitting, I take my computer upstairs with my hard drives, which sucks, and sit on the couch with my leg out, straight out.
Yeah. And then your hips start to hurt from sitting like that for too long. And then you're like, we should start selling vitamins like they do on Saturday mornings on Talk Radio.
That brings up something I've been meaning to talk to you about. I've started selling pain relief vitamins. They work wonders. That's how people sit here for an hour. No, but yeah. That was a very Michigan thing to say. No, but yeah.
No, but yeah. Sorry. close to Canada.
Yeah, the truck, the back end of like my 250's up there.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, says it comes with a step in the tailgate. I'm like, why the heck would you want a step in your tailgate? I totally get it now. It's way
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, I think I've said this before. That's why I love my old truck, my C10. So when I drop my tailgate, when you go
put
to
your
like,
butt on it.
dude, well, even lower than that, when you go to Lowe's or like Home Depot, how they have the flat carts that you put your plywood on.
Yeah.
I can literally that's level with my tailgate and I can just slide it on. Yeah.
You're really low.
Yeah. My truck's a little low, but it's awesome. Cause I'm like, oh, I'm looking at all the other contractors, like getting on a ladder, holding their plywood, trying to get into the truck. And I'm like, slide it in.
Yeah. Awesome. Black Market's asking the SCX6.
Not done yet.
I missed it.
It's literally all in parts at the shop right now. And that's what I'm stressing about. I told Tony about that I think we were talking offline last week, and I was like, I got a lot of work left on this to do.
Yeah.
I'm worried about it because I'm R&D. That's the thing that's tough about it, is that in theory, it seemed easy because there's parts for a 10th scale metal supplies one, but there's a lot of R&D to make it big. And so it's like, this isn't as easy as I had thought it was going to be. And so now I'm hand making a lot of the components for it, which are tedious.
Yeah.
So I took the back. I was going to go for those that are familiar with the honcho. Actually, I have the body up here, but the back has this like bracket system that the cage mounts to. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to recreate that out of steel, thin gauge steel, so that I can it reminded me of Harley, where he makes all his jigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, that's a waste of time. I don't really say that, but I'm like, that's a lot of work kind of a thing. But
yeah.
And then now I'm like, I'm going to do that for this one because it's to make it marry together. It just seems like so much easier if I just recreate it out of metal versus trying to make it not rip out. Yeah. Well, I'm more worried about it ripping out because it's heavy. Out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to jump off our bed of my lightning. F that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It was actually, the river's down, so it was actually more of a drop than I was expecting to when I jumped off of that. So, and then you land and it's not stable because it's a floating dock.
Yeah.
So it moves. But yeah, I was not expecting, because it didn't hurt that night.
Did it buckle? Man,
no, I woke up and I was just like in extreme pain that night, just like throbbing. And
well, I mean, when you landed, did your knee buckle, or what did it do?
When I jumped off the boat the first time, it did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing it was still just kind of whatever I did.
Yeah.
Even though it felt better, 5 days later wasn't quite better.
Yeah.
And then I did something like jump like that, and it just, yeah. Anyway,
we're old.
Yeah, when you're afraid to stand on a chair without proper support.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. My wife will do that. We'll be somewhere doing an install. She's like, just stand on this chair. I was like, are you out of your mind? Like, no, I will walk out and get a ladder and put a ladder up. I'm like, I'm not standing on no chair. Come on.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen America's Funniest Home Videos? Like,
they are made of this.
I know. Like, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
It's funny. So the other thing I was going to talk about was racing.
Yes.
So
did good the other day.
Well, the night that we were on last that he was racing, he actually got top of the podium. I don't know if we talked about that yet or not.
Nope. Because we weren't on last week.
Yeah. So he actually ran away with it. If you looked at his times, he was a whole lap up on everybody. So he ran away with it. It was awesome. And we had been practicing the track. They hadn't reset the track at the time. So he did really good. He was kind of on top of the moon, right? And then we had the 4th of July weekend race, and we went out there, And they changed it Thursday night, and Friday we went out, and we were like, oh no, I wanted to go out Friday, and we weren't able to make it because I was working. I was like, I got to work a late night if we're going to make it to the race so I can get back to work, kind of a thing. So I didn't get back home from work till midnight that night. And then I woke up extra early to get him to the track, to get him some practice time before the race.
First,
what's that?
Because of a different course.
Yeah, because they reset it. So probably 5 minutes into practice, he snapped the block. So they have aluminum blocks where the pins go in on the A-arms. Ripped the block out of his just ripped it completely, shredded it. And I was like, fantastic. So now I have to take the whole back end of his car apart, like transmission and shocks, all that stuff, take it off to get to that part, put a new part in, and try to get him ready to go before qualifying, right? So I'm wrenching on it, and I got it ready to go. He got out there and practiced, and they changed the track. So the track is like, someone referred to it as an IQ track, because you had, and like I actually raced, and I was like, oh wow, you have to like think about this track before you're going around. So front straight by the stand has what they call a roller coaster. It has a kicker that comes up, and there's a valley underneath it to a tabletop that's probably 10 feet long. Then it drops down to another roller, and then it goes immediately into a wall ride. So it's like, for a 21.5 car, you have to pin it to win it to go up onto the flat section, the tabletop. Otherwise, you're clipping the back axles and flipping over. So that was the first thing, right? So, and you have to realize that your car is going to fade within the time of your qual. So the fast guys in the 21.5 class, like not the novice class, were actually, so the kicker comes up, it dips down, and it goes to the tabletop. The faster guys were actually at the end of their race flat slapping this part and getting up on top and then powering out to be consistent. And then you go into this wall ride and you come down. And if you're in a 21.5, you can pin it from coming down the backside, and it goes into a triple, right? And so if you're 21.5, Dalton, he made it a few times. Like he made the triple in practice, and I was like, okay, but I knew, I was like, you can't do that. Like you're going to have to, and I told him, I was like, dude, this track is about staying on your wheels. So if you can just stay on your wheels through that, and you'll be good. So he's like, oh yeah. Okay. Because the rest of the track, he was getting it. He was carving the rest of the track. Well, the middle part, everyone was trying to go for the triple, and they were just slapping and flipping over, all that kind of stuff. And especially we're a novice, so kids don't know how, and adults that are a novice, they're just not able to line it up and drive through traffic fast enough to make that triple. So first he quals sixth. He finishes sixth. Second, he finished third. So he's progressing. He's moving up, and I can see him getting faster, but he's still going for the triple. The second he doubled a couple of them. And so I'm sitting here telling him, I'm like, dude, look, just double single. Like if you double single this, you're going to be on the podium, because he is an A main from there. So I was like, you're going to be on the podium. So just double single. The other guys were clearly faster. They were adults that probably should
barely in the novice.
Yeah. Like they and they had cars that were set up. You could tell they knew what they were doing, kind of a thing, or getting good at it. So, but he beat them the week before, smoked them the week before. So there's that. But being adults, they had the IQ for the track, right? So they understood it. And so
double single.
Yeah. So I'm like, just double single this. So we get into the main, and I'm like mantra styling it. I'm like, Dalton, double single, like, and I'm yelling it I'm not marshaling, but I'm down taking video, and I'm yelling. I'm like, double single, right? Like he's up on the track. And what does he do? He freaking goes for the triple every single lap except for 2 laps, and ends up getting out of control or flipping or whatever it is. And then he finishes 4th. And so I'm on the other side of the track, and he's up on the driver's stand over here. And I see him finish the race, and he walks down the ramp, grabs his car and immediately goes over to the truck. So I'm like, okay, this is good. So this is good because I want him to want to win, right? Like I want him to like not just be like, whatever, and walk away. So he's over at the truck, and I'm like, so what do you think? And he goes, yeah, that wasn't too good. I forgot what he said, but he was like to the effect of like, that sucked, kind of a thing. And I was like, well, I'm just saying, the ones you double singled, you did all right. And he's like, you could tell he was just pissed at that point. He didn't want to hear me say that. So he kind of, he was kind of upset about that. So then we went out on Wednesday, I think it was, after 4th of July. We went out to practice, and I said, okay, I told him, I was like, look, I'll get you the gear. Cause I think if he was one tooth up and had a little more timing, he'd make it. No problem.
Get it?
Yeah. Cause he was making it with no traffic. So I think otherwise he'd get it. So I said, look, I'll get you the gear and we'll get you over that triple. I said, but you have to learn how to double single this first. And so what I did is I went out to the triple and I took tires from the Baja Ray and I lined the backside of the triple. And I was like, if you hit those tires trying to triple, you're going to crash. And so he had to double single. So if he doubled it, he'd pop over the tires and go around. Dude, that was a video I posted on Instagram. He was so smooth after doing that, like so smooth. And I was like jumping up and down. I'm like, yes, this is what you got to do. Like, now the thing he's got to learn though, is he's got to learn about driving the car. He's got to learn about fade, like what it does at the end of a 5-minute heat or a 6-minute heat. And how he's not going to have the gas to make it on top of that roller coaster or even go for the triple at that point. He's going to have to dial it back. And I told him, I was like, look, if you learn how to double single this and we get you that next gear, you have to make me that deal that you're only going to go for the triple if you're out of traffic. Like if you got cars around you, double single all day because they're going to crash you out. And so he's like, all right. So, but he broke again at the end of practice. He broke, and we were supposed to be at the track today, but parts aren't here yet. So I was like, I'll just wait. And so he has another race on Saturday, and parts should be here on Thursday. So I'll get his car back together and get him on the road. And I was going to get mine. So I was doing all right. I was running stadium, open stadium. And that's a huge difference for me. I went from novice to open stadium, so it's modified. And I think the first qual, I finished 6th. And the second qual, and I'm running 13.5, and other cars are running like 8s motors. And so second qual, I was probably running 6th, somewhere around there. Like one guy said, I actually beat him, and he finished the race, and I broke with a couple laps to go. So I was on the lead lap, which was good, but I wasn't expecting to be competitive, but I tripled because our cars would triple that. No problem. I tripled and flat landed. And then my whole transmission just locked up.
What?
And, yeah. So the top input gear, this gear, you can't see it on the camera, just smoked it. Yeah. Totally smoked it. So I was like, well, that sucks. So, but it was good. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was a good experience. I should race on Saturday, but I kind of want to work on the monster truck track. And there's really not enough time in between.
Yeah.
Cause it's like he runs novice, and then there's like 6 races till mine, and then probably another 4 races to novice again. So there's not enough time to really get down and do anything, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I get a wild hair. All right, Reckless. He says he's got to get his son ready for bed.
Yeah, Matt said you humbled him. Good job.
Yeah, well, I was like, you suck.
Stop breaking it.
I know. No, I was going to do the Days of Thunder thing, where I was going to be like, hey, look, run, because what we do is so for those of you, I'm going to shout out Wally Builds, Nick Wallett. So if you don't follow him on Instagram, he's either Wally Builds or Nick Wallett. He's got 2 accounts. He's an associated guy. He's been like, I've been DMing him, and he's been giving me tips on how to help him race. And
Yeah.
dude, we do. So now what we're doing is we're doing 4 minute or 5 minute or 6 minute, and we see how many laps we can turn in that time frame. And we'll do one where we'll see, with rollovers or whatever, how many laps we can do. And then we'll do another round where it's like, okay, if you roll over and you have 8 laps, you go back to 0, kind of a thing. And so it's been really good. It's been cool. Actually practicing, like doing that kind of stuff. But he's been helping out with stuff like that. So shout out to him for helping out a newbie racer. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
He's helping out like that.
very cool. So
Man, I just realized I got to check back at one of my other trucks. I just tightened these little screws down on the bearings, and it just really tightened up this whole rear axle. And in my build that I was doing with the Copy Weston, that truck is really noisy and the motor gets really hot. So I'm wondering if I have something like that going on where I have over tightened something, because it's crazy smooth like this.
crazy.
So I need to.
I've got to rebuild my 24 scales.
Yeah, you do.
I showed you that body that I'm putting on Dalton's car.
Yeah.
The Son of a Digger one, or Grave Digger style. I got to figure out what to do on mine. I should just get a cliffhanger. I wanted to get the Ecto 24, but I can't find them locally.
Can't find the Ecto 24s?
The body. Yeah. So I want to do that.
I might have one. I know that Jeff has them.
Really?
Yep.
Jeff? Might have to order one from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to, because I like that body. I'm running the long wheelbase, though. There's another body that I was looking at. I don't remember what it was. It'd be cool if I could do a cage, like how I do all my other cars, like a back half cage, and just 3D print it. But I know that would break rather consistently.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, as heavy as these things are, falling off a table or rolling over.
True. True.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But
you know how when you start a build early and then you work on it for a little bit and then you are like, where are all the parts?
What's taking so long?
Like, what happened to my diff covers for this?
Yep.
Like, these axles come with diff covers. What did I do with them?
So, on a side note, why do I not see? Okay, so I got that Rift.
Yeah.
Why do I not see any U4 like 4400 style cars built as a Rift? Like, I'm baffled because I'm looking at it and I'm like, bro, this is like, that's what I'm going to do to that. That's the last one on the build sheet right now, but I'm totally going to do his tube cage for it because it's so like made for that. Like the plates on the bottom are easy to bolt onto it to make it look like that Jeepster, kind of like the hammer ray or whatever it is, kind of to look like that, but it's a
little smaller.
I think,
or bigger actually.
I think
wider.
I think the wheelbase is perfect for it. I'm like, man, I don't see why no one's been doing this. So we'll see.
I really like my chassis on mine.
Yeah.
The Fat Girl style chassis.
Yeah. What's the someone commented on one of my posts about it, said that I have to do some upgrades to it immediately if I haven't broke it already. And so what are the upgrades that you're thinking need to get done to it? To me, it seems like if you drive it right, it seems like it should be fine.
Did yours come with sway bars?
In the rear, yeah. I don't have front sway bars. That's the other thing. The geometry on the front is kind of weird. It doesn't get full range. It hits the battery tray or the receiver box.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. That's a weird spot for the receiver box in general.
Yeah. But it's too far to. I mean, you have to run an extension if you put it in the back fuel cell thing.
Yep. But would you rather have extension wires than?
Oh,
smash?
Speaking of extension wires, I got you a hookup on some lights for your build.
Oh yeah,
electric stuff. I won't be able to get them till after Axial Fest though. He's pretty slammed. He's like, I can get them to you after that. I was like, sweet,
nice.
So,
well, my next thing that I would run it at is going to be the Gauntlet.
Nice.
In September, which is a good ways off. Late September.
These tires smell so good.
I'm using black diff covers on this all brass.
I like it.
Truck. Just rear one. So tough. Can't find my other one. Maybe we'll switch it.
SCT Drive asked, he has a Ghost Sprint car. Do we know anything about them? Are those the smaller ones, or are those the ones based off of like the Associated? I don't know. Are those the ones that are based off the Associated oval car? I don't know much about them, but I know someone who does. How's that?
I've never even heard of it. I've seen the old Losi one.
Yeah, no. So out here, what they're doing, we have an oval track out here. It's pretty sick, dude. Intense dirt oval. Okay, so look up AE Fanboy. He's running a lot of dirt oval out here. He's on Instagram and on YouTube. More on Instagram. So if you have a question about that, and especially if it's associated, he could definitely help you out with that. So what they're doing is they're taking like the buggy front end and the buggy rear end, or they're taking the Associated oval stock car, and they have like carbon fiber plate chassis that are, dude, they look like outlaw sprint cars, 10th scale. They are so sick, and they're dirt, and they're just ripping around the track. I don't know, but I think Creekside RC has a YouTube, or I think maybe AA Fanboy is just helping them out with it. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I really want to go and watch, and they have loaners, but you know how sometimes you really don't want to go and watch and try it because you know it's going to be just another one you're going to get into when you're like, yeah. I'm like, let's not. But it looks like so much fun. Let's see here. I'll pull up a Fanboy. Ooh, look at that. What chassis is that?
The cheat code. It's nice and tight.
Yeah, buddy.
Look at that click.
That's nice. Funk.
They're pretty good.
Hang on. I'm trying to find some good pictures of this oval stuff that he's got going on. It's pretty epic, dude. Like, it really is something that I'm like, this would be really cool to do. Really, really cool to do. That's a good angle. So here's his daughter's car.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, they are super sick. I was trying to find a picture of one.
I've always loved the look of sprint cars.
Yeah, and these ones, they can hook up just like the real Outlaws, where they come out of the corner and can pull a wheel stand out of the corner. And I was like, shut up. Like,
shut the front door.
I know. Yeah, super cool. Super cool. So shout out to AE Fanboy and all his AE junk. He does some cool stuff. Cool stuff.
So what's new for you then?
Dude, I just got to finish all these builds. I just need to find time. Like, I don't know what it was about like 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive years ago. where I just got the wild hair and I'd be up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and head to the shop and play for a couple hours before I had to start working. Now I'm like dragging myself out of bed at 7:30. Like, I don't know if it's just that it's like, I don't have to be there. Like, I'm complacent, I guess, or lazy, where I'm like, I don't have to be there at a certain time. I'll be there whenever I want. Like,
yeah, but you just get less done in a day.
Yeah. And it's like, I need to just wake up early. Well, that's what I was talking about, like getting the kids to bed on time so I can wake up on time and get out there and do that stuff.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I just feel guilty and I'm like, I'm staring at the stuff like I should be doing something to this build, but I can't because I need to be actually working. Because it's one thing when you don't have a lot of projects going, but when like real work projects, but when you have a lot of real work projects going and you're like, hey, if I finish this, I can go on vacation in the next month or two.
Right.
So, that's one of those double-edged swords. But
all right, I just put
I've
my
got
repaired Chihuahua on here.
Nice.
I just fixed one of them that I got back that had
I saw
been
that video.
dropped. So I didn't see any videos on how to replace the gear, so I thought I'd make one. It's not going to be the most watched video in the world, but for people that need it, it'll be helpful.
Yep.
Because it's really not too bad to replace them at all.
I don't know if I should say this. Did you see the Hexfly servos? Did I talk about these already?
Mm-mm.
So if you go to Red
Minis?
Cat, no, 110 servos. So if you go to Red Cat's page, they have a high torque servo. That's a Hexfly, and you can get 4 of them for like $68, I think it is. But they have like the same. They have the same specs as the 444. Might even be faster.
I see a 2-pack of servos. They sell them as a 4-pack?
Yeah, or at least they did a week ago. But they have like the same specs, if not better, than a 444 or 555. And I was like, huh.
Are those the 25 kg ones they have?
No, these ones are better than that. The 25 kg ones are just the same Amazon ones. These ones are like a gray case with the honeycomb look to them. But I was like, I think I might have to try these out and tell people what I think about them. We'll see.
See, they have that, but they're $34 each. Oh, here's 4 for $70.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. So if you compare those to some other things, that's, what is that, $14 a servo?
So they're for 7, yeah, it's about 14, 15. So speed isn't great. 0.14 at 7.4 volts. 0.12 at 8. So figure you're running 8.4 volts, so 42 kilograms per centimeter.
So I found the conversion table for that, and I think that was 500 ounce inches, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what was I have the conversion table up here. What was the
666?
What was the kg?
48.
660.
Oh, 42. Sorry, 42.
583 is what I have for ounce inch.
Yep, that's what I see too.
Not bad, huh? And it's all metal gears.
Yeah, it's slow, but for crawlers, it's not. If you're not comping with them, that's not a huge deal.
No. Well, and I'm thinking four steer, like that could be a four steer
Rear
servo,
yeah.
Or four steer on a Claude, a
Yep.
retro Claude. Like that's perfect. That's all you need. How's that radio link? I didn't finish the video.
I really like it. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
So
How do you what do you think?
I have a DSM off-road thumb steer for it, which is the game changer for me. Without that, I wouldn't be as.
How do you feel
likely
the
to use it.
durability would be?
It feels really solid.
Is it heavy?
If you run the 8 AAA batteries, yes, but not too bad if you're running the LiPo
Okay.
that comes with. Some people like the other one because it balances it out more, they say.
Uh-huh.
I didn't find it to be unbalanced that bad.
Uh-huh.
Felt comfortable to me to hold. So I'm going to be doing more videos on it for steer. I told them I would make a couple on it. Because that's the thing, a lot of things just unbox, whatever. I said, well, I'll show how to do force steer with it and, some other things. Because that's one of the things that I was interested in. Like they'd reached out to me before in the past. I was like, nah, no thanks.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my Spectrums. Well, then I've been looking at doing the thumb steering with proportional wheels on them.
Yeah.
And I saw the wheels on that and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, so it's got a wheel on it?
It's got 2 little dial wheels on the side.
Oh,
It's got that steering wheel and it's got 2. One of them like counts by 2s and one of them counts by 1. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The touch screen's amazing.
It looks pretty rad. That's why I was wondering if it was too heavy. Like, because it's like, there seems like a lot of glass up there. And
there's no glass.
It's all plastic.
Yeah, it's just it's a screen. It's a soft,
nice,
like a old monitor style that you touch.
Huh.
So,
does it have any water rating or splash rating on it? It's like an IPX4 or 6.
I wouldn't get it wet.
See, that's the problem. For me, that's the problem. So because it rains here, or I'm out in the rain or in the snow or whatever, it's like that's the problem. That's why the DX5 is like. I keep on talking about it like I want to have it so bad, but then I'm like, do I really need it? Because it's like compared to the Fly Sky one, it's
splash proof IPX4. So don't submerge it.
But that should handle the rain.
Yeah, it should work. Just don't submerge it.
But then you can't touch any of your touchscreen because it's like won't read anything in the rain.
Right.
That's always a pain in the butt. Conformal code at the boards. It's a lot of work. I might void the warranty. So
yeah.
But
I mean, overall, like the feel of the wheel, everything feels good, and all the buttons are, except the weird back one.
Is the trigger like good enough to shoot you in the baby maker with?
Nicely done. Nicely done, segue. Yes. No, I mean, especially at 255 right now.
Yeah.
It's a crazy deal for a touchscreen 200 model. The nice thing is how many radios there are for receivers, and they make a bunch of cheap ones, like a 4-channel receiver for it.
Tell me the truth, Tony. Let me know how much this receiver is, because that might sell me.
Let me go to their website here. Viewlink.com/receivers. Let's just pull it up before we go.
Do it.
Because that was the other thing I looked at. Like, I don't want to get into another system. I already have so many, right?
That's my problem. That's
I already have so many.
So you know how I was thinking about getting past that? It's like, what if I just fire sell like a lot of my trucks so I don't have as many, and then I could be like, I could buy new receivers.
Right. So here are like the FM. That's one of them. FG. That's what I have. It came with it. So 8-channel, 3 millisecond response. So let's look up the price of that, and they have on Amazon.
Well, I want to know what the
That's $22.99 on Amazon for an 8-channel receiver.
Oh, that's Prime Day though.
20% off. Normally $22.99. When do you need 8 channels though? So let's go back. I'd be looking mainly for
Yeah,
4 channels here. 4 GM, FM, or even 6. So I like these because they're small.
Let's see what a 4 or a 3 is.
They really aren't 3s.
All right, let's do
They
a
don't
4.
go that low.
Let's do a 4. Come on.
What happened?
4.
I clicked on something.
4.
So let's go to, man, I'm struggling on that radio.
Wow.
So here, let's do this FM one because it's small and I would use it in a little mini.
Oh,
right?
perfect. Look at that.
So 4 channels, 4 mini RC cars.
Watch, that one's going to be
with
like
a gyro.
5 times more expensive because of the gyro. Do it.
Dang it. It's not the R4 FGM. You can see my old man's computer skills. $17.99 on Amazon.
Nice.
2 for $33. Now, if you got one with a big old case on it,
do the big old case waterproof.
R4F.
Is that one waterproof? I'm all about the waterproof.
Not a bigger case.
Those ones you can conform will coat though.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the listing for waterproofing. $8.39 on AliExpress.
Have you ever bought anything from there?
Yep.
Been good?
Yep.
Does it just take forever?
Takes a while. Yep.
Yeah, like, I'll see you next Christmas.
R4F.
And then you end up buying it at A-Main anyway because you can't wait long enough.
So they're not showing it. So here's the 6-channel one for $17.99. They're super cheap. $15.99 for the R6F.
What's that? Whoa. Oh, it's Ghoul RC. I was going to say that's a
it says boat surface remote.
I was
anyway,
looking through it. What does
so
that say?
many options.
How much is it on Amazon right now? $255.
So I'm actually going to order another one of these.
Do it.
Range up to 1,300 feet on this little one.
See, I should order one and then give my son the GT5.
So you've got a little bind button. So with these, there's no bind setting on your radio that you go to. It's you just bind, you have the radio on, and then you just says no need for any setting on the controller when R4 FGM binds with radio. Press 1 second to bind. There's a bind button you press for a second. And then it just binds to your radio, whatever model you're on. So simple.
Too long though. I can't wait that long.
And then shot press 3 times within 1 second to on off the gyro mode.
Nice.
Super simple.
Micro one would be nice for the 24s, huh?
Yes. Especially with the 4-steer option thing.
Money.
Yeah. But the radio, what is
how much is the Avatar 2?
120, I think. So yeah, these are $255 right now. Normally $320.
And it comes with a sweet lunchbox.
And it comes with a lunchbox and a lipo. 2 receivers. Yep, SD card, micro SD card, and then your battery and has a micro SD in it, so you can save your settings and take them to other radios. What?
Can you play music from it?
Probably. There's a headphone jack.
Can you print from it? You're like, hey, I'm just gonna print these.
But yeah, the knobs you can see it here in the front and rear of it. The one that says VR next to it is super smooth. It just rolls.
Does it have a detent?
Nope, it does not have a detent. That's the bummer. Nope. But there's a visual on the screen of it up there that moves left and right, so you can visually see. But
So you can look at your viewfinder and your screen and your car at the same time to see where you are centered up.
Basically, yep.
Awesome. Does the red light behind the knob, is that a changeable color?
That's just a striping.
That's
It's just pinstriped on there.
Oh,
But the
well,
side ones do glow.
well, that's what I'm saying. The side ones. Can you change
Behind the
color?
knob? Yeah.
can
I don't know
can
if you can change the color of that.
That might be a deal breaker. I'm not a red
It
guy.
should be. I got the orange DSM. So then DSM off road, I went to look for him to link for him, and I didn't see him. He has it. If you Google it, it shows up.
Have you seen those
Click on a
cool
link and they're not there?
like those drift car wheels for the controllers? Dude, they're so sick.
Really?
Dude, you gotta look it up. They are so rad. I don't know.
They just have the different spokes and stuff.
Yeah, but they're like knurled wheels, like for your like for gripping.
Oh, I'm
They're
missing
like
that.
$80 wheels just for your controller, bro.
What should I look up?
I don't know, drift car transmitter wheel. I don't know. I thought Racing had one, but I've seen them on a lot of, and some of the race guys use them. Or maybe RC drift car radio wheel.
Like
there
this
you go.
here?
Yeah. That one's pretty cool, but that one's not the coolest. I've seen some really sick ones. Like, look at that.
Knurled, like metal with the knurling on them.
Yeah. So cool. So cool. I've seen like really detailed. Yeah, look at that. Crazy.
Radio link.
That's only $7. No.
That's foam though.
Yeah, that one's not cool. That one's uncool. You got to spend money to be cool, Tony.
RC8X. So yeah, when I Google this, it shows up the steering wheel here, but then it doesn't.
Page not
found. So
it's probably the T company.
Same with the eBay. So once he gets them up again, I'll link for it.
Zada wheels. F Flatlander 72 said, look up Zada wheels. AZADA.
AZADA wheel.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Oh yeah, those are nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Bro.
A little overkill for a receiver. That's like people that buy like aftermarket tires for their crawlers. I just don't get it. It seems like a waste of money. I'd rather put that money toward a new car.
Yeah, sure.
Crawler.
You know what I need to buy right now, and it's killing me. And I should have just did it because I just did a big buttload order from Associated. I should have bought a set of Associated shocks for that Phoenix. The Phoenix, remember how I said the shocks, like there's no oil in them. And I'm like, ugh.
Oh, it all leaked out?
Yeah. And I just want to just throw some shocks at it because I've driven it once, I think. I mean, I haven't crawled much lately because it was all the weather stuff. And then I just got too busy. So I haven't crawled much, but I've driven it once. And it's like, it'd be really nice to get some real shocks and see what it.
Here's the real truth, guys. He doesn't RC. He tries to fake it.
Yeah. My kids RC.
He hates RC cars.
Yeah, I don't do it. Nope.
Cool has no budget. Yeah.
Cool has no budget. Absolutely.
I love that thing. Very nice. I have
Saturn,
a budget.
Yeah, I know.
There was a time when it felt like I didn't have a budget, but I'm pulling in the reins on it.
Thanks, Saturn 5. He's saying it's fun listening to us FYI for the channel. Hey, so what gear are you using on your RBX10? Same thing as a Rift, right? This is all new stuff to
Yeah.
me. Okay. So what pinion are you at? I'm at a 17.
Stock.
I don't know what that is.
I don't
You're
know.
like, sounds good to me.
Stock. RBX 10.
Oh, can I reach it? I can almost reach it. Hang on.
17 tooth. Yes, that's what I'm running. And it's plenty. On 3S, even. Plenty.
Look at these wheels. This makes the Rift right here.
Those are pretty nice. Spec
Yep.
RC.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
No,
Dude,
those aren't those terrible tires, are they?
No.
Okay.
These are the Pro Line Pro X's or whatever they are. I took them off my Baja Ray. I was like, I'm going to try it on this car. I was surprised, dude, how massive the stock Rift tire is.
Yeah. I actually don't mind them.
I don't. Well, okay. So here's the thing. I wouldn't mind them either, but
I
they
hate
glued
them.
them. No, they glued them on to the wheels.
Yeah.
And they glued one on backwards. And I was like,
but as a kit, are you sure that they did?
yeah, he said he did.
The guy glued them on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
and
Not the
so I'm
company,
like,
not actual.
No. The guy glued them on. And I was
Sounds
like,
like he had some issues building it, following directions.
perhaps. It was built well. I mean, but
He said it had the wrong gears in it. It was missing an E-clip in the transmission.
To his defense,
I will never let you say, if you ever say, dude, you should get this. It works great. I'm like, maybe not.
So his story was he bought it and got it the night before a comp and built it the night before and went out and ran it. And
didn't do well.
I guess he did really well. He said it's just not for him though. And he said he kind of rushed to build it.
Sounds like a salesman.
Nah, he was pretty cool about it.
Sounds like a salesman. Dude, mine was doing so good at Axial Fest.
Yeah.
I was doing so good. I ended up buying new stock tires for it. So I have 4 new stock tires. Actually, I could ship you your one tire that you don't need. Or that you do need.
Well, they're glued to the wheel, so I have
the wheel and tire. I bought 4 wheels and tires. I only had one round out. I rounded out a hub on one.
Oh, wow.
So I could send you your 4th wheel.
Well, I'm not using it for anything right now. I kind of want to.
But you'd have it available to you.
Yeah, I need to
Let me know what direction you need.
It doesn't matter if it's not mounted.
No, they're all mounted. I bought pre-mounted.
Oh, I see.
I Jenny's RC'd a set of 4.
I see. There you go.
That were from a takeoff.
Okay, so people in the chat, the few that are left, what's the best way for de-gluing tires? I've yet to find a good way.
Do you bake yours?
I tried boiling mine.
They say bake it to dry them out. Cook up the...
Yeah, I've seen boil them, and then sometimes it just kind of comes off.
So I tried the whole put it on a brick in a container with...
acetone?
Yeah. Melted everything. Wheel everything. Yeah. And it was like a really hard to find wheel set from an old Tamiya.
Oh, no.
Yeah, bake it 350 for 20 minutes.
Fumes,
not the liquid. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So you pour a little bit of liquid in the base. You let the fumes sit overnight, and you come back, and the Tamiya plastic is completely melted to nothing.
I need to talk to
Laffy Taffy.
So Starbond says they have a CA thing that you could put on here that will de-glue it. And they said it's basically acetone, but it's like, but in gel form. And I'm like, I don't know how that would work. But if they did.
You don't want to touch it.
I don't know.
An hour or less in many cases. I don't remember if I did it overnight. It was a while ago. It wasn't overnight because
I did mine. It was only a few hours, and it got.
I
the
did
wool
mine
that
in the
got me.
morning. Yeah, I poured it in the morning, and then I came back after 2 hours and it had melted. But it was like a really old school plastic chrome
Mm,
beadlock type, look fake faux beadlock.
yeah. See, I wanted to
Yeah.
take these tires off, and put them on the Spec RC wheels. That would look cool,
Yeah.
but couldn't do it. BSI CA remover on a paper towel in a Ziploc.
Sounds like
Tried-
it's doing the whole
Yeah.
fume thing again.
Tried the heat gun method, and it sucked.
Yeah, so I've seen like RC Girl do the baking kind of the 350 at 20 and remove them.
Yeah. Just pop right off. I'll have to ask my neighbor. He has
Well,
an
I mean,
out-
it still work. You still got to work it off, but
I'll have to ask my neighbor. He's got an outdoor oven in his garage for what's it called? Powder coating.
Yep.
So I'll have to be like, hey, can I bake something real quick? I got 4 tires.
I
Rims
remember
disappeared.
Jeff Walter did the same thing. Acetone first time, left in too long, and rims disappeared.
Yep. That's too bad. And I was bummed because these wheels don't fit the Baja Ray. that's part of the reason why I was like,
Oh, they're too tall.
no, they're the back spacings, the offsets
Wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
So I hits the hub on it, or the C, whatever it's called, C hub. I'm like, curses.
All right. Well, we should wrap it up, man.
Yeah, buddy.
2 hours.
Went fast.
That's a long one. It sure did.
Yeah.
So good.
We got to
be
do this
back.
more often, huh?
Yeah. We need to. Oh, so actually next week I'm not going to be here because we're going to be at NF.
Ooh. Did you know NF has 2 songs on Rocket League now?
Really?
Yeah, like
I did not know that.
me and my son were down here playing, and I was like, wait a minute. I was listening to it. I was like, wait a minute. And then I looked at it, and it said NF, and he's got 2 songs on it. One's called Let 'Em Pray, and one's called I don't remember what the other song's called.
Were they old ones of his? Because he and Tommy used to do video game music.
No, I don't think the Let 'Em Pray
No.
is old. I thought Let 'Em Pray was pretty new.
Okay. It might be. I think that is the new song on his new album.
Oops.
But yeah.
I don't want it to
Oh,
play.
yeah. It is a new one for sure.
Yeah, Hope.
About
is
him
the-
doing bad. Yeah.
Yeah, Hope is the other one.
Okay.
From the album Hope.
Yeah.
That was 2023.
Yeah. So we have tickets to go see him in Grand Rapids.
That's cool.
So that'll be pretty dope.
Sweet. Are you gonna fangirl it?
Nah, but my boys are super excited. So
Yeah.
I like his stuff just fine. But
Yeah.
I'd rather go to a punk rock show. I'd rather see Rancid or something.
I don't know. NF seems pretty cool.
The new Rancid is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, cool story, bro.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
take it easy. Go listen to podcasts. Do it now.
Podcast it up. Be